catch like falling so fast, chemicals react. The tide is high, but we keep on moving, taking me back, and I'm never the same. I'm feeling at home when I'm calling your name. We're carrying on when it's starting to change. The tide is high, but we keep on moving. This feels like scenes that I've seen before. Slow motion, caught in the revolving door. But I'm right here, hold the future in my hands. And you come near, this is our promised land. Remind me again how we started something, and we're not going back like lighting a match, and it's trying to catch like falling so fast, chemicals react. The tide is high, but we keep on moving, taking me back, and I'm never the same. I'm feeling at home when I'm calling your name. We're carrying on when it's starting to change. The tide is high, but we keep on moving, caught in a thrill, 'cause it's better than real life. Say that you will, and I'll give you my time. We can be still, and the rest of the world flies. Taking me back, and I'm never the same. I'm feeling at home when I'm calling your name. We're carrying on when it's starting to change. The tide is high, but we keep on moving. Where are we now? I'm losing grip on all that we found. Remind me how. Been searching in the dark, but here we are. Started something, and we're not going back like lighting a match, and it's trying to catch like falling so fast, chemicals react. The tide is high, taking me back, and I'm never the same. I'm feeling at home when I'm calling your name. We're carrying on when it's starting to change. The tide is high. Started something, and we're not going back like lighting a match, and it's trying to catch like falling so fast, chemicals react. The tide is high, but we keep on moving, taking me back, and I'm never the same. I'm feeling at home when I'm calling your name. We're carrying on when it's starting to change. The tide is high, but we keep
It's broken for me, Andrew. It's broken.
Well, it's working for me, so.
All right,
That's
listen, I'm
the-
glad. The only option I see is like, I just see the Restream logo. Like it doesn't show me the other thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you may just
Huh.
want to this song is
Yeah.
working for all of us, Kreider, and that's what's important. Is this
yeah.
is this Temu Taylor Swift, or is that actual Taylor Swift?
No, it is not. Would you believe we can't afford actual Taylor Swift? Okay. I'm gonna be back in.
Are we allowed to even say Taylor Swift?
No, I don't know that we are. Okay. I'm gonna be back in no time at all. Hopefully this
Okay,
fixes
cool.
things.
Hey, everybody. Patrick is leaving, but he'll be back in just a second. Don't be scared. We're going to get things rocking and rolling in just a moment. I feel like it's been so long
Ha-ha!
since
It worked. It fixed it.
Since
Great.
we've seen any of you. It's been far too long. It's been 2 weeks. Gosh. Last
I
week
got
was a
worried
doozy.
that I got
We gotta
worried
get
that they
started in
like
a second.
price gated it or something. You can hear me,
Uh-oh.
right?
Yeah, you're good.
Great. Yeah, because they're making all these changes, and so then part of me is like, yeah, of course they're stripping things as part of that. Hello, hi, lies, hello, let's go. Yeah. Okay, what is the song? Just to answer the question, the song was "Keep on Moving" by Violet Island.
Violent. Hey, real quick question. Does everybody else, if someone in the chat who's watching on Twitch right now, can you drop the number that it says of viewers who are watching this live right now? Because the last couple of weeks, the number has looked low compared to what I see we're actually getting. But I also know there are a couple other of streaming venues, and I want to see where. Yeah, okay. So, okay, mine says 3 presently. So the fact that they're different is weird anyway. But there we've got some
No.
followers.
It's all the people on
watchers.
Twitter that showed up to see Lauren. So
So in 3 minutes they'll all leave.
yeah, once you realize we're not talking about the magicians, you're going to be gone, and I totally get that. That's one option. The second option is that they are all just bots at this point. They are all just AIs that are boosting numbers to hopefully keep more advertisers from jumping ship off the platform. So that's where we're at. All right.
Okay.
I'm excited to start talking. As you see, Lauren's not here. And it's too bad.
And we'll
Wish she
get to
could
that.
be.
And we'll get
Oh.
to that.
Okay, so apparently we'll
I
get
have
to
an
that.
update
So,
for everyone. I have an update. For
great.
everyone.
So let's jump in. I want to talk about things.
Yeah. So let's 3 and 2 and 1 and
Not helpful. It's fine though. It's fine though.
unnecessary. Welcome to episode 561 of the Pop Culture Roundtable, the podcast that's here for now, says we. In this episode, we talk about The Bear Season 3 and Sea of Thieves. I'm Andrew Sale.
I'm Patrick Hill.
Wait, did you leave a pause there intentionally?
No, your internet's just garbage. So just
Oh,
power through.
everything looks fine on my end right now. I actually have 3 full bars and everything is like free and clear now.
3 out of 5 is pretty great.
So you really, that was a real delay. That wasn't you just being
No,
weird.
I literally was directly on the internet.
It was almost 2 full seconds on my side.
No, it's not. It's all you.
I can't imagine that it is because everything is good on my side. Like usually when it's bad, like it's bad for both of us. But like this, it looks.
What I don't know that
everything
you don't.
is good.
What I guess you don't understand is it's bad for you every week. It's been like this for like a few months now. So
Nope,
when
I
I
did not know
edit
that.
you, I'll here's a peek behind the curtain. When I edit you, for whatever reason, because you will lag, and it does this weird thing in Restream where on your audio file you'll start to say a word and you'll get way through the word, and it will leave that gap, and I have to go cut out that gap and slide it together, and it's where it's like re-getting your stream.
It cannot every week though. Like, I know that there are some weeks where it does that because I hear that same gap on your side. Like you guys will pause and then it'll go like it will do on my side too, and so I'll see that. But this week
In
it's
the
like
edit,
everything is clear. I have a full like everything is full and good.
It's
So
been
just
every week
crazy.
for literally 2 months, and in the edit, it is only ever your audio track.
Okay, good to know. I have
So-
I'm compiling evidence against my AT&T because there's no effing way
Let me
I'm
talk to
getting
him.
what I'm paying
Let
for.
me talk to them.
There's no way I'm
'Cause I
getting
have
what I'm paying
evidence.
for. So it's super frustrating.
All right,
Okay.
take us through that intro.
So put that in your pipe and smoke it, because it's time for another episode. I'm gonna start it over.
You know what? That's good enough. That's good enough.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Welcome to episode. Oh, you think it's good enough? Great, then we'll just move on. Cool. Because apparently we're living on borrowed time. there's no way to know.
This is
Of
true,
anything.
though. This I know
AT.
emphatically.
AT and T, Anderson Thompson, and
Yeah, will not care.
yeah. Here we go. We like to kick off every episode by going around the table, which is where we talk about things that are new, fun, and noteworthy about our weeks. Patrick, before we kick off, it's important to note that Lauren's not here, and there's a very important reason why. Do
Okay,
you know
give
that
it to
reason,
me.
Patrick?
No.
She couldn't make it tonight.
Okay, I did know that reason. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
so
I was
that's-
fully
yeah,
in on that.
Yeah, no, that's all. So Lauren is not gone. For anyone who's wondering, like, did the guys finally say one too many things to her and she just got fed up and left? No, as far as we know, that's not what happened. Unless she's just a really dirty liar. No, she's just not here tonight because she's got projects. Don't do that with your eyes, Patrick. That makes it seem like I've gone too far.
I'm not saying any of this. So Lauren,
You're doing
if
it with
you're
your
listening,
eyes. You're talking with
it's that guy.
your eyes. You're talking with your eyes. And I would say probably not listening, because if she's listening, just be here.
Yeah. Easy.
So that's where we're at. Patrick, why don't you start? It's been a long freaking...
Okay, so I'm gonna jump into some crazy controversy, the drama that's going on the Twitch side of things. It's interesting. I do wish Lauren had been here because I had another fun golf update to give her. Last week we were gone, so that's actually from the tournament for 2 weeks ago. But like 3 different people threw smoke bombs and stormed the green, and I was so excited to tell her about it, and now she's gone, so she misses it. But instead, we have different, much crazier drama to talk about, and that is what's going on with Dr. Disrespect right now. And I'm just gonna outline. I'm going to give you like the really high, like the 40,000 foot. I don't know how many thousand feet are in the idiom. I think it might be 20. I'm going to go with 40 to be safe. I just want to make sure I'm picking enough thousand feet. But the idea, Dr. Disrespect, he is a streamer. At one time, he was one of the most viewed and most subbed Twitch streamers. He has a persona of this 80s uber macho action hero D-bag guy. Like, that's his persona. But he's one of those people that the more you watch him, you realize, oh, no, that also might be just who he is, and it's not his persona. Like, when you watch like a Stephen Colbert when he was doing like the Colbert Show, the Colbert Report, whatever it's called.
The Colbert Report, yes.
Yeah, when you were watching that, like, he would give a little winks that weren't his character every now and then. And then also, of course, when you saw him outside of the context of the show, you could very clearly see the distinction of Stephen Colbert from Stephen Colbert. Whereas Dr. Disrespect, I think, is one of those people, Guy Beam is his name, but he's one of those people that I think the more you hear from him, the more that you realize maybe there's not a differentiation. Maybe he is this like just outdated uber macho douche, and I think he is. And so here's what happened. Watched on Twitch, one day ban. He's just gone, and permanently banned, which was a bigger shocker. So you have one of
he
Twitch's
was only
big...
on for one day, or it?
No. I'm saying like one day you.
Twitch.
No. One day show up, he's gone. So like literally, he's one of the biggest streamers. You can go see the end of one of the clips. It's the last clip that he was on Twitch before he got banned, and you see him kind of look at his phone. He rambles something about having to go, and then he just cusses. He goes off. It like goes to the outro, and next thing you know, like perma ban from Twitch. So getting banned from Twitch is shocking enough. Getting perma banned is even more shocking because there are people that do like inappropriate or graphic things that end up catching like a 3-day ban or a 4-day ban or a 7-day ban. To get a perma ban was wild, and there was no reason given. There was no reason given by
like showing butts.
Yeah, Doc, literally by Doc. There was no reason given by Twitch, and there was an understanding that there's some type of legal process happening. So maybe everybody's just NDA'd and whatever. But in the whole time, Doc is just ripping apart Snake, is Twitch as a bunch of purple snakes, bunch of liars, etc. Well, he ends up going to YouTube.
Hang on. You're saying things as if they make sense to everybody. What the hell is a purple snake?
No, it's just what he calls them. It doesn't have to make sense. It's just his lingo. Like he was just calling Twitch a bunch of snakes, liars, etc. Purple's the color of their logo, hence purple snakes. Okay. But all right. It's just trashy saying whatever. He goes to YouTube. He doesn't get a streaming deal with YouTube, which maybe is kind of odd because, again, he has a big draw. But he's been streaming on YouTube. 4 years has elapsed, okay? And then suddenly, like, the big bombshell comes out. And, again, nobody knows what's going on up until this point. Well, previous staff member from Twitch, he's on a podcast, and he drops Doc was sexting, basically, or inappropriately messaging a minor using Twitch's whisper service, and he got caught, and that's why he got banned.
And that's not fine, from what I understand. That's against their terms of service.
Yeah, it's against a lot. So, But like, this is one guy that's on a podcast saying this. And so initially, like, that's a wild thing to accuse somebody of. And so there was a lot of, kind of this big push of like, you need to produce evidence or like you're going to get sued into oblivion. And then one or two other people. Sorry. It's again, it's not
I was
Doc
thinking
that's
the
in our
same
community.
thing.
But
We regularly reference Doc, a member
not
of
that Doc,
this
Doctor
of the show and
Disrespect,
team.
who I'm also calling Doc right now. Okay, so but a couple other people did, and then the big thing that kind of pushed it over was a news source ran with it. Now the deal is for these larger publications like a Bloomberg or someone, if they're going to run with a story, they have teams that they have to meet a certain bar of.
There's a vetting process.
There is absolutely a vetting process, and so they're not going to run with something unless they have seen it for themselves. So once Bloomberg picks it up, once Rolling Stone, once these articles start picking up, I think at that point everybody realized like, okay, this is a real thing. Like, this is not one guy alleging something. This is a real situation. So at that point, it was waiting for what would Doc do? How would Doc respond? And again, this is Dr. Disrespect, aka Guy Beam. How would he respond to the situation? Well, he put out a tweet saying that he did, in fact, inappropriately message a minor. Now, the tweet itself, it's you can go find it and read it. Initially, he put the word minor in. He edited the tweet to remove the word minor, but you can see the trail of that. And so then after people called it out, he went and put it back in. But he says, yes, I had inappropriate conversations with a minor, etc. But he gives this whole apology in his persona. It's like if Stephen Colbert, not the Colbert Report, but Stephen Colbert gets in trouble for doing something, but then he gives his apology as Colbert Report Stephen Colbert. Like, that's so...
That's kind of what Aziz Ansari did. That's kind of exactly what, because he did his whole apology deal as a part of his stand-up, remember?
Well, but it also shows you how maybe the deal, the level of seriousness you're taking with the situation or etc. So Guy Beam gives his apology kind of as Dr. Disrespect and ends it with a big like, F you, and like, it's a kind of a wild thing if you're keeping in context of like, hey, you've done something that's probably illegal. You're admitting to doing something that's illegal, and then you're kind of telling everybody like, here's the middle finger. It's just wild. So anyway, at this point, he's obviously banned from Twitch. YouTube now has pulled all his monetization. So he can no longer make money on YouTube. He's been dropped. He still had contracts with several other organizations. For instance, like Turtle Beach, which makes headphones. And then I think he still had his contract with the 49ers. All that stuff has been, those people have now dropped him. He was part owner of a video game company called Midnight Society. And he got pushed out of that immediately. And they released a statement saying that they would not work with him. So he's been dropped from that project. And now it's been kind of 2 days since we've gotten the latest update. The last thing we heard is that, and this would take a little bit more context, but Doc, I mentioned that he has this kind of uber macho persona. He tends to run with a lot of people that are like, it's the scared type of masculine of like, gay people freak me out and LGBT people freak me out. He runs with that group of people. And it came
Isn't that
out
literally the definition of a homophobic person?
Yes, but I'm just saying I'm trying to paint the picture of when I say masculine, I'm really talking about this like toxic masculine person. So I'm just trying to paint the picture of what that is in today's world. Well, the last thing that came out, and again, it's now been 2 days since we've heard anything else, is there is another streamer that is I know, I saw that. There's another streamer that's a trans streamer that came out, and it turns out they were having exchange with each other and like a sexually explicit exchange, and that person leaked those messages. And maybe the last bit of context is this guy's married. This guy has a kid. He's been married through this entire process. So you have things that are illegal. You have things that are, depending on your definition, immoral. and you have someone that is playing this big persona and being a very vocal, kind of toxic masculine person, while also doing all these things behind the scenes, and then calling everybody publicly liars and snakes. And now all of that is beginning to unravel. And it's just,
hard to take on that persona and then privately be making passes at trans people, like openly trans people. Right?
And that's
like
the thing. That's part of the pieces of it that even just make the situation like wilder and wilder. So it's been 2 days of quiet. Like the way it was left was basically, I'm going on vacation and then I'll be back. F you. Like that's kind of where his statement ended. If you go read his tweet, and at this point he's not coming back to anything in terms of like, his YouTube monetization is gone. They've said that they don't, want to support him on their platform. Weirdly enough, I think Kick has basically said, hey, you might have a spot over here. But I don't think anybody is surprised that Kick isn't the bastion of morality and whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But
consequently, or conversely, rather, the video that Mr. Beast dropped yesterday is of him building 100 homes for people all over the world who are in need of homes. So, Just a
there's
nice
different ways
contrast
to leverage your power and influence.
Exactly.
And one of them is preying on people in private, and also, cloaked meetings. And then the other one is building homes for needy people. And so maybe when you're making that choice of how to use the money you made streaming, choose better.
But we'll say this. We'll say Luke left the podcast for one of those reasons, but we won't tell you which one.
Yes. But again, not Doc from our community. Dr. Disrespect, a.k.a. Guy Beam. So crazy story. If you want update, read the Rolling Stone article. And again, it's 2 days of silence now. So inevitably there'll be more updates. But honestly, like that's between that and TwitchCon, that is all of the streaming news this past week is just wrapped around that story.
I do want to circle back. Luke left and he went and built homes for people because he went to do his construction job. Yeah, I just thought that like it was a funny joke, but only if you know why Luke left.
But I think people assume the best.
Yeah,
I think people assume the best.
I know, but I'm also looking at how many people are watching, and I gotta know that not all of those people know that story. So yeah, just to stay on the safe side.
So that's my week is following drama. And that is the big drama this week.
Who needs Bravo, right, Patrick? You've got YouTube and golf.
That's the thing. It's the same thing. Like this drama's not. I mean, drama's just bad. Everybody, this drama's not better than other drama. Hey, we won't get into it now, but I have a video, Andrew. I have a podcast I need to send you with Dr. Mike, Dr. Mike. Like the hottest doctor in the world.
Let's just call him Doc.
Talking to there's so many doctors this week.
You've been seeing so many doctors recently. It's really hard.
That's my life as doctors. But it's Dr. Mike talking to Dr. Mike, but Dr. Mike Israel. It's two Dr. Mike sitting having a conversation. It's
one
awesome.
of them is AI.
No.
Oh, okay. No, because I watched a video. Literally, this is not a joke. I watched a video of a I don't know who it was, some professor, and he may have been a doctor of something, but he was interviewing himself, and the himself was an AI version of himself, and it was in real-time video. I thought that may have been what you were referring to.
If I remember right, that was the guy that's actually like the founder of LinkedIn that was doing that. But
it may be.
No, it's just because I think you are health curious. So I think you will enjoy it.
Health curious. Okay.
Much like myself.
I identify as health. I feel like I identify as health active, maybe not health curious.
Not healthy, but like health curious.
I'm health adjacent.
health adjacent.
I know all the right things to be doing to be healthy.
As someone who's also health adjacent, and interested in technology, what's coming next, etc., and also just talking about crippling anxiety. The Dr. Mike conversation was fascinating. So this is my reminder, because I'll edit this tomorrow, and inevitably I won't have sent you the link yet.
You will
and
not.
So this is past Patrick reminding future editing Patrick to send
to
you the
send
link.
present Andrew,
And President Andrew,
the previous
who will be
podcast.
past Andrew at that point.
Hopefully, Andrew
will
will
get the
not
link
have
from me.
passed by the point that
Oh
you
my
send
gosh,
that.
can you imagine?
Oh, good Lord. Well, at least that
Yeah.
we went down doing what we loved. Probably grasping for air. That's
Do you think that's the most likely way?
gasping for air? Yeah, probably. Yeah, right? Like, yeah.
But I mean, for you and for me.
I think in general, the way that most people die is gasping for air. I think that's probably 99% of it.
Okay, one of the actual doctors in chat tell us, but not any of the other doctors we talked about. One of the other doctors.
Why else do you think they call it taking your last breath? Like, it's pretty
I was
common
gonna say,
thing.
like, after watching what happened to Mackenzie this week, I think it's decently likely I might die to like a swarm of wasps. But
Yes,
in that case, it would be you would asphyxiate from like swelling up, and so that would
Yes.
still be gasping for air.
So you'd be gasping for air. That's gonna be that's gonna be how almost all of us go. The only way that I think that would be altered is if you get your head blown off.
Oh my god!
I'm just saying, like, otherwise, you can get shot a whole bunch of other places or stabbed.
Why does
and
it have to be so violent? Couldn't you
I'm
just
just
have
saying
like
you wouldn't be gasping for
couldn't an
breath.
aneurysm do the same thing, and you wouldn't?
No,
have
I
to,
don't think. No, because there's a process that happens there. But I think like if your head is just gone, then you don't get to to do that.
It's just so violent. I don't know. There's gotta be something like less.
I'm just ideating. I don't know what I'm not a doctor. I don't know what I'm
just
health.
spitballing.
I'm health
I'm just spitballing.
adjacent. We've talked
Okay.
about this. I'm still workshopping a few things.
Hey, what did you do this week? Are you
spent-
sore, by the way? Please tell me you're sore.
No, actually, I'm the least sore today than I've been in the last like 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You talking about from disc golf?
I'm glad I have a day off today. I'm going again tomorrow. If you want to join, but I'm glad I had today off.
No, I've been working out a lot. Speaking of health adjacent, I've been working out a lot in these last 3.5 weeks. And I am officially down 22.2 pounds as of this morning.
Holy cow! Congrats, man.
But thank you. But part of that is me having to be like really active. So I've been doing a lot of walking, which has really helped the disc golf, like my stamina, and not like in terms of like catching breath and things. Like
I'm not
it's
here
helped
to
a lot.
one up you. I'm not here to one up you.
That's good.
But as of this morning, I'm down, and it's not one upping you because it's a lower number. But as of this morning, I'm down 18.
Nice. Yeah. So see, we're more than just health adjacent now. We're health.
We're still not at. Come on, we're still at best.
I didn't say
health
healthy.
adjacent.
I said health. That we're health active, meaning we're actively working on our health, which is different than maybe where we were a month ago. So So anyway, all that said, no, I'm actually feeling pretty good today. I've been very sore these last couple of weeks as my body's been like reacclimating to it. But no, I'm kind of staying active, so it's helpful. Anyway, this past week, 2 things I want to show, and they're both Cooper related. One, I got him something. Have you heard of U2s? Like YOUTOOZ. Okay.
They're the tiny vinyl toys that mimic your favorite YouTube creators.
You got it. That's how they started. They've now kind of bridged a foray into like general Ps and things like that, but they have like whole like licensing things. But this is one that I got Cooper that came in a couple weeks ago. I'm going to show you the first of all, the packaging that they do is really, really nice. So these aren't super cheap, but they're not also terribly expensive. Yeah, there you go. They cost about $40, $35 to $40 a piece. They're not super cheap, but they're also not
wildly
outlandish.
expensive.
But they're easily 4 or 5 times the quality of like a pop vinyl, right? Like if you're kind of thinking about like a Funko.
Think so?
Yes, I'm going to show you. So Cooper has a couple. He has one that I got him of Dan TDM a while back, but then I got him this one. It's the Swole Doge. Let's see if there we go.
Sure.
Swole Doge, and it comes in this like hard plastic, and then that's a sleeve, and then the box comes out, and the sleeve kind of stays. So it's a nice print job, nice materials for the actual box. But here's the figure. It's a swole Doge.
Yeah, no, I got it. But what
And,
when you say like 4 times the quality, what are you basing that on?
Having looked at it, the paint job is way nicer. The material is nicer. It's a really nice, sturdy plastic vinyl. Just the QC on this is just much better. I mean, look at how it's like airbrushed, right? Like it's not.
Sure.
These aren't just like sticker. These are all hand done. Anyway, they're just so much nicer.
$40 is wild.
I mean,
I think I got that I don't have it out right now, but that Bumblebee set that had like the interchangeable heads and arms I think that whole thing was $40.
No way. That thing had to be at least $80. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about like that Transformer Bumblebee, right?
Yeah, I don't think it was 80.
It's got to be at least 80. There's no way you got that. It was like a Figure Arts, right? Like an SH Figure Arts. Like, yeah.
I'll look it up.
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
Anyway, this one's really fun. He has another one coming in the mail, but I was really excited to get this one. It's just super funny. It's like if you're just listening, it's a buff corgi, essentially, and it's based off of a meme. Anyway, it's a nice little tabletop thing. But speaking of Cooper, he was at camp last week, and part of why we weren't here and we didn't have an episode was in addition to Patrick and Lauren being out, I had to leave suddenly to drive to Marshall, Texas, or towards Marshall, Texas. I don't remember where we actually ended up, because Cooper broke his leg in 2 places at camp.
Yeah.
He broke his fibia and his tibia, and pretty gnarly break. And so we had to go pick him up from camp. It's been quite a ride since then. He's not been able to oh gosh, sorry. Hey, I just want to take a moment to pause and point out that this important note, it's actually a Shiba Inu. It's not a Corgi. So
yeah, it's for sure not a Corgi.
Special thanks to Jedi for pointing that out, and then for Kate for coming in strong on the second on that. No, Cooper, they weren't able to put him in a cast on Wednesday when we took him to the orthopedic doctor because it was too swollen. So they rewrapped him. It took 4 of us. It was gnarly when they took the splint off, and he's just been being as fragile and careful as comfortable as possible.
Did he say if it made like an audible pop noise?
Oh, it snapped, and there were a bunch of people around who heard it snap. Yes.
Oh gosh, that's awful. I would have loved to have heard it.
In moving him, like when we were moving him around initially, he could hear and feel the bones inside sliding back and forth against each other as they shifted around in his body. So tomorrow, if you're listening to this on release day, it was yesterday. Hopefully, we have an appointment in the morning, and hopefully they'll be able to get him in his cast and get him to be a little bit more stable so that he can be on the road to recovery. But it's a 6 to 8 week recovery process plus some physical therapy. Currently, no surgery is needed. No rods are needed. The way in which he broke it should be fine with a cast after they set it. But it's been tough. It's been exhausting emotionally. It's been exhausting physically, just having to, tend to your 14-year-old. We've been out of like taking care of, I'm doing air quotes. We've been out of taking care of our child, like round the clock care for several years until he got hurt. Yeah. So,
it's such a weird thing because I do not want to break a bone. It sounds just painful and maybe limiting.
Yeah.
But I really want people to sign my cast.
I did ask Cooper
to the point that I might be okay if I broke a bone. Now I wouldn't pick leg. I would pick arm 10 out of 10 times.
Yes.
But gosh, I just want someone to sign my cast.
Not your hand though. You want to do like your forearm so that you could still have function of your hand.
Yeah, I have like 2 bones in here, right? So just one of these guys.
Yeah.
Then I would be fine.
I could take care of that.
Okay.
Honestly, one more day of disc golf in a row, you probably would get there.
Just on my backswing. Did he say we can though? He said he's okay with it.
That he says okay with what?
You said you asked Cooper if we could sign it.
He did say it was fine. And I asked him what he wanted me to draw. He wants me to do knee to ankle Ned Flanders drawing on there. So I'm going to do a massive Ned Flanders drawing on the side of his leg. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Sexy Flanders?
Not sexy. Oh, I can ask him if he wants sexy Flanders. I've drawn on something that he did before. I can't remember what it was. He was going to school he was going to school one day, and I just like asked him, "Hey, do you want me to draw on you?" Just as a joke, because he usually says no. When I ask him, "Can I do A, B, C, D, or whatever? Can I do that?" He'll always tell me no, especially if it's concerned with school, because he's at the point where he's embarrassed. But this one time he said yes, and I said, "Oh, what do you want me to draw?" And he said Ned Flanders. So I drew Ned Flanders up his arm like a tattoo. But it was classic Ned Flanders. So maybe he wants sexy Ned Flanders in his ski outfit. Anyway, yeah. So that's what my week has been. It's been that, and it's been a really busy season at work, and so having to kind of work remote for the tail end of last week, it's been a little bit, but that's okay. We're still getting out there, still throwing discs. I've had 2 of my best games ever since we last spoke on air. I've gotten 2 birdies. Patrick, you've had the 1 birdie, yeah? You've not had. Have you had a second birdie? I'm asking if you had a second birdie. I can't remember.
No, but you just set it up in a way that made me feel bad.
No,
you're like, I've had 10. Oh, Patrick, you've still only had the 1, right?
I was trying to highlight that you've gotten a birdie. Oh, did we say that on air? On air. Sorry, that may have happened prior. I thought to educate people that we've both gotten birdies since last week podcast.
No, your excitement ruined your internet just now. No, I appreciate you trying to highlight it, but it is though you took a sore spot and then drew a big circle around it. Okay. Yeah, this is exactly what I just felt. So if you want to move on, that's okay.
Sorry, I was talking about mine and remembered yours and thought, hey, we've not talked about Patrick's, so that's whatever. Still, we did shoot. Dang it, we did shoot a video. I do have now drone footage from the tee box to where Patrick's disc is. So you can see the trajectory. I don't know if we want to share it. I can't. We're not trying to share it on here, the video, but we have drone footage of where Patrick's. What I want to do is maybe do a video where you see where it's supposed to go. Like you take the track to where the hole was, and then go and then show where your disc ended up.
We'll share it in the Slack. We'll share it in the Slack for sure.
Okay, good. All right. That's going to be it for me this week. What about you, Lauren? Up next, Master Categories. The Master Categories each week are when we talk about the dice we rolled 2 weeks before. We pick our topics based on those categories. Patrick, what are you talking about this week?
Sure. So last week
I know what you're talking
TV.
about, and I'm excited about it.
I know.
Actually,
Last week
let me start. Because we both have information about yours, and we'll probably spend a little bit of time camping out on that. So let me talk about mine.
Cannot, and I think your internet's fine right now. To be fair, I think it's fine. But I can't tell when we're bantering and when I'm just fighting latency. I have no idea where the line is, but go ahead, continue.
And it all sounds fine to me over here, so I'm in the dark completely. So I trust your judgment.
Hey, I feel like you might be missing something, so I'm going to throw this out there.
Jedi, a lot of shit has happened since that came through. I don't have any of it. Jedi went on the hunt for us several months ago for popcorn buckets from Disneyland. They were exclusive to Disneyland at the time. One of them was Chubby, the little bird from the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. And then the other one is probably one of the, it's at least top 3 best popcorn buckets that Disney's ever done. And it is a Pizza Planet truck that's being driven by one of the Pizza Planet aliens. And the headlights go, and the top logo, spaceship glows, they all, they have lights on them. You
need to bring these on next week, because we have to see these.
And it rolls, and it's great. And then the alien comes out, so it's really, really nice. But then he also sent me this little pin, this little 100th anniversary Disney 100 Woody pin, and it's a really nice little pin. So
why don't you pick it up from the master categories or the part of the show? Just pick up that whole intro. I'll cut this out, but then let's show those next week. I want to see those.
So just start what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. This week I am talking about games, and I actually played a game with Cooper while he was down. He bought a game right before he had to be laid up for a little bit. He had 2 hours in the game when he went off to camp. Just 2 hours. I think he bought it the day before he went to camp. Now he has over 45 hours in this game. And the game that I'm talking about is Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves, you may have heard of. It's been out for a while. It's not a new game by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, they're on season 12 of it. But it first came out as Xbox exclusive. They have recently rolled it out to be a console. The console. What do you call it? There's a word that I'm not thinking of right now. But anybody can play this game on any console. And it is a seafaring game, as you can imagine, by Sea of Thieves. You play as a pirate and you go on missions and you have to sail your ship. You have to build your ship. You can upgrade your ship. And you can fight in real time. Cross-platform, that is what I'm talking about, but there's another agnostic. It's platform agnostic. That's what I was trying to say. Not ambiguous.
Console ambiguous.
Console ambiguous. You don't even need a console.
What a term. Okay.
But this, so you can join a clan. Like you can have it's not a clan. It's a crew. You can join a crew with people all around the world. They can be your actual friends, or they can be people that you find online. And then you can go on missions, and you're actually sailing the ship. Like you have to man the wheel. I can't remember what any of this stuff is called right now.
Okay, you need like a lexicon of sorts. You just need a list of terms.
Normally I'm pretty good, but I'm operating on less sleep than usual. But I'm getting my point across, and that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if I say everything exactly right. I'm just gonna give myself a pass. But you can go on these missions. Like somebody can man the cannons if other people from around the world sail their ship up by you. If they're on the same server, you guys are sailing the same oceans. And if a ship comes up beside you and they decide to attack, you have to fight them back. You can have your You can have your ship sunk. You can do all sorts of things that you would normally do. What I like about the game is it forces you into a situation where there's stakes. Like your gun that you use to shoot, you only get 5 bullets, and then you have to go back down into your ship and get more ammunition. You can only hold up to like 5 pieces of food, which is what regenerates your health. And then you go back to your food rations on the ship. So there's a level of reality, very kind of playful, almost Fortnite in like the styling. So it's not like hyper realistic in terms of like the style of how functions very much like an actual ship would. And you've got to man the sails, and you've got to drop anchor. You've got to do all of these things to upkeep the ship. If someone shoots your ship, or you hit the side of if you hit coral, or you hit the side of like the shore, the bottom of your ship can get torn up and it will start taking on water. You have to go patch the ship, and then it sounds like a game that I think, honestly, that I think Will would like, because there's lots of maintenance that you have to do, and those are the kinds of games it seems like he likes.
I mean, I've seen a lot of footage of it, but I haven't played it. How important is your crew? Like, is it possible to pilot any ship alone, or there are ships that unless you have a crew, you are unable to pilot them?
I don't know the answer to it. I have watched Cooper play pretty extensively, and then with people, like he's played with his friends, his crew. I played like the starter mission, essentially, where you like it runs you through the tutorial and you get your ship, and part of getting your ship is it's like completely dilapidated and you have to fix it up before you can get out on the seas. But I've got very little physical hands-on. So I think it's definitely easier with the crew, but I think it's possible. I've seen Cooper do quite a bit by himself because you can just kind of set your bearing and then tend to what you need to tend to. Now, if you need to maneuver certain things, like if you've got to get around stuff, then you've got to be at the hull. I'm remembering
Helm.
all this stuff now, so that's
Helm.
good.
But
What did I say?
Close. You said hole.
No, not
which
no. I didn't say hole. I didn't say hole.
you
Hall.
said you'd have to be at the hole.
Hall.
Helm.
Hall.
Hall?
But hall. But
Hall.
but I think helm is the right word. But I didn't say
It
hole.
is helm. No, I know what the right word is,
Yeah.
but I enjoy you saying the wrong words. I shouldn't have even
Yeah.
told you.
No, you shouldn't have. Yeah, it functions. It functions very much like you can do it by yourself. There might be larger ships that you get as you go along. I know that as your crew, you can assign your ship to a crew, so other members of the crew can sail it, even if you're not on the server, which is cool. And then you go through and you get these just different missions, and the missions are they show you these, like, there's a minimum of 1, a maximum of 5, and that shows you how long that mission should take. So before you take on a mission, you see it's kind of like a difficulty level, but instead of difficulty, it's a bit more based on how long it's going to take you. And some of these missions might take an hour and a half to accomplish one mission. But here's what's interesting: even after you finish these missions and you steal the booty and you get the treasure and then all that stuff back onto your ship, you still have to get your ship back to a place. I've been dying to.
Yeah.
You still have to get your ship back to one of the ports where you can sell it. If someone commandeers your ship, or someone comes aboard, or someone sinks your ship, or someone comes and kills you, or whatever in between those things, or a kraken comes up out of the water and takes you out, which can happen, or a megalodon happens, you lose it. You lose all of what you just spent all that time doing.
Oh, I get it. I mean, this is exactly the loop. I mean, Will and I have been doing the salvage loop on Star Citizen, and I mean, it's the same type of loop. And hopefully, Sea of Thieves is a much more stable game. In which case, that unless you mess up, you'll actually get there. Star Citizen is so unstable that you can do everything correct, and then the game can just crash, and you still lose everything, or something bugs and you can't get it off your ship, or you can't sell it. So that it has that added wild card to the situation. But it's interesting for the ship stuff. Like, one of the things with Star Citizen is you don't you can have a larger crew on a larger ship, and people can do things in tandem, but realistically, like, you can by yourself still do the bulk of everything. And one of the things we're waiting for is for crews to be more meaningful. So that way, it's not only being able to play with your friends, but also having that feeling of, oh, I'm not the person sitting in the driver's seat, but that doesn't mean that I'm not important in what we're trying to accomplish right now. Because if I don't do my part, like, we can't go. So yeah, I'm excited to see that in Star Citizen, and I understand why that's enjoyable for sure.
So the game is put out by Rare Games. I don't know if you remember Rare Games, but I'm trying to look and see. I vaguely remember it being the game company that put out Crash Bandicoot, but I could be wrong about that. I'm trying to pull it up. But anyway, Rare Games, they've been around for a long time. I know that, like Killer Instinct 2, those games. Donkey Kong Country, Banjo and Kazooie, yeah. So like this is a game maker that's got many years, over 30 years of experience. So it's not super buggy. Like it plays pretty well. And like I said, it's about 12 seasons in, so it's seasoned. The game has been seasoned. So anyway, Sea of Thieves, it's a fun game. I honestly could spend some time playing it, and I could see how you can kind of get lost in it, but that's been what's pretty much been on the TV. Oh, GoldenEye 007.
I can't have all the games to say. I'm surprised you didn't say that one first, but
I was trying to get it pulled up on my screen, and I clicked initially. Super Rare Games. That's not the company, and so then I just
it doesn't help you. That doesn't help you.
So that's it. Sea of Thieves. Check it out if you want to, and if you don't, that's fine too. There's enough other people playing it, and I'm sure you've got important things to do. So, but I would recommend it. It's fun. All right,
Every
Patrick.
time someone says that, it just reminds me of the like, so buy one of our homes or don't. I don't care.
Yeah, from Rhett and Link.
From Rhett and Link, the whatever that mobile homes commercial was. Like
Yep.
that's all I think about. Great. So I have TV, and we're going to talk about one of Hulu's. I think it's in their top 3 biggest streaming openings of all time, and that's season 3 of The Bear. It's been watched over 5 million times on Hulu. I wouldn't start clapping quite yet. We're not going to talk about the whole season because I know it just dropped this weekend. People are still going through it. We, of course, don't want to do spoilers. So we'll only reference the first half of the season, probably up to like the napkins episode, if you remember the titles. I'm pretty sure that's episode 5 or 6. So we can just reference up till there. But The Bear follows Carmi. Carmi is a professionally trained chef. Has worked in very high-end restaurants, think like French Laundry. And his brother has a Italian beef. He sells sandwiches in Chicago. And his brother ends up passing away. Carmi steps in to help the family business. So transitioning from this world of high end to this world of Italian beef. And over the course of now going on 3 seasons, we see him connect with the team, kind of break them down, come to terms with himself. Other people come to terms with who they are and what they want, and see them now start reconstructing going into season 3, we know is going to be a fine dining experience. Any of the trailers, we know that they're actually seeking getting a Michelin star. For those that don't know, the Michelin Guide is still published by Michelin, the tire maker. The idea was that these are places you would want to stop if you're traveling, ergo, like if you're using your tires and traveling. And so the idea of the Michelin Guide was these are the top spots, and it's not just for food quality. It's for consistency, it's for quality, it's for environment, hospitality. I mean, it's every bit of it. So having just the best food is not enough. You have to win on every single level, and not just that, you have to win time after time after time. In the past, the guide was heavily dependent on, hey, someone's already been there, 3 times or 4 times before you ever get an opportunity of actually going in the guide. So anyway, that's what they're trying to accomplish is to get a Michelin star, and that's something that's seen as being very coveted to a lot of chefs. Season 3, from previous seasons that The Bear likes to do unique things. If you remember the kind of like, I think it was like the 14 or 18 minute episode we got was it season 1, the episode where like the tickets are coming out. It's like the lunch rush, and they have like hundreds of tickets coming through, and it's just like the single camera shot trying to handle the lunch rush. They like to or if you think of like the Thanksgiving episode or an episode like that, the one-off family dinner with all the cameos, they like to have the kind of normal kind of wrapper that you expect for a TV series, and then throw in these doses of this extraness, either through storytelling, cinematography, etc. And season 3 kind of starts with that. Instead of starting with just picking up the pieces or opening the freezer door, I guess, and walking into what's next, after a few minutes, you kind of realize that this dream montage isn't just setting up the first episode. It is the whole episode. And you spend kind of like 30 minutes kind of drifting between the past and the present through different people's perspectives. And it's a very maybe unique way to open a season. But I personally found it a bit frustrating because I wanted to, let's get into the story. Let's push something forward. Someone needs to start talking and acting so we can get to the next thing. And instead we were just kind of floating through memories in space for 30 minutes. And for me, that's a bit of how I felt for the first few episodes of it. It took a while to get the train rolling. And it probably wasn't until episode 4 before I felt like, okay, now this season is finally what I showed up to watch. Like now we're getting the interactions, we're getting the humor and the quick wit, and the mix of like satisfying story, but also just enough fuck, like dashed in.
You said it's fact.
But fact, just enough fact. Sorry, I work with someone whose name is not terribly different, but it's an ah sound instead of an a sound, so my bad. But even though that train has finally started moving, I feel like I've already invested a lot of time in the season, and I haven't really got much out of it yet, and I don't really feel very satisfied with what's happening so far. Now, again, that's only talking about the first half of the season. It's very possible the second half of the season really turns that around. But Andrew, I'm curious from your perspective, because I could be wrong. I don't want to like put words in your mouth, but I think you're liking this season just as much as any other season of The Bear.
I am, and I don't agree. I don't agree with episode 1. I know that you were bored, and it wasn't what you were expecting.
Terribly.
But I do think that I'm further in the season. We just have the final episode to go, and I do think that was a very intentional episode. And in the penultimate episode, I looked over to Becca and said, "Oh, I think da 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 da," and it was like a very like I think episode 1 did this, this, and this. And it's there's some circling back, which I'm being totally vague, I know, but that's fine. Like I don't want to ruin anything for anybody. But I don't think it took till episode 4 for some of that stuff to happen. There was like in episode 2, there were some of those conversations, and then it amped up more in episode 3. And I felt like episode 3 was exactly what you would expect from previous seasons. The level of intensity wasn't necessarily there, like where you're gripping the seat, but that was okay because we've gotten some really intense episodes with this show that have not been good for anxiety, right? Like my heart rate gets going watching some of these shows in the past. Now there are some episodes later in the season that do take you to that place, but you just got to wait and see kind of how it gets there. I think this season has been different, but it's been really, really good. And I've liked it quite a bit. I did notice something that I'm going to show you. We stopped it and took a picture of it because I'm going to absolutely create this. I'm going to draw it because it looks like it's handmade. I'm going to draw it and have it done in vinyl, like shirt vinyl, and I'm going to make shirts of this for at least you and I, because I was so excited. Up till now, they've had the beef, right? They've had
Let's
the
do
beef.
them let's do them in smalls and make them goal shirts.
Goal shirts, yeah. I'll do yours as a goal shirt, but I want to wear mine now. Okay. So, FAC actually plays quite a big role. The FAC family plays quite a big role in this new season. You see a lot more of them, and they're around more frequently.
Yes.
And here's something that I caught. Like it just showed the back of him for like. It's Fac's brother, who now works at who works at the shop as well. He's the handyman now. And this is the back of his jacket. It was just on screen for just a few seconds, but check this out. Matter of fact, land. I'm going to draw that. I'm going to draw it, and I'm that so that we can have shirts that have matter of fact on the back, and then have our names on the front. I think that it's such a fun design.
No, it's great. I am going to give one more critique so far, and it has another half of a season to change my mind. But one thing I've said, many times, is I don't like when we lose progress. If I'm going to watch a show and we make it to somewhere in season 1, then season 2 should go ahead and move beyond that, and season 3 should move beyond that. And this idea of just pressing reset on progress is very frustrating. In a lot of the flashbacks.
Oh, okay. I thought you were moving on from that, but you're going to explain what you mean.
I am. Yes. So there's 2 components to this. One is the act of having a lot of flashbacks is rehashing a lot of things that we already very decidedly know. Like I don't need to see what's his name's mentor be a jerk to him, or I'm sorry, the head chef at the restaurant. I'm blanking on the actor's name right now from Community.
Yeah,
But-
you're talking about yeah.
But like seeing, like, I already know that he's a jerk. I
Jeff
already know
Winger.
that he's overbearing. Yeah, exactly. Like, we've already seen basically this exact thing. So we're having to rehash things that we've already seen and understood and dealt with. And in season 3, they've reintroduced a lot of kind of this same old friction into the kitchen again. So we're back to, Carmy and his cousin,
Richie.
yelling at each other all the time, where they had got past that. And I know there was a hiccup in front of the freezer, but now it's kind of like, okay, now we've pressed reset. And over the course of the episode, the season, I guess they have to learn how to trust each other again. But they already had to learn how to trust each other. And so there's bits of that are just, I find that an unnecessary slog if we've already slogged through it. And I would rather us focus on some other aspect of it. Here's what, if we're honest, here's what needs to happen. We need to make this a more modern show, and they need to start a YouTube channel, and FAC needs to start a successful YouTube channel cooking on behalf of the restaurant. I would love for Matty Matheson to, in essence, play himself in this universe.
I do agree with that, but I think the rest of what you said, I think you're off base, and I hope you come
I'm
around
not. For
to
those
that.
listening, just watch the show, and then you can tell me if I'm off base. But anyway, yeah.
Well, yeah, let me explain. I think you're off base. All of the things that you just said get addressed or are already addressed by episode napkins. So I'm a little confused. Like the reintroduction of the some of the reminiscing of literal scenes that we've seen before is all set up to build the anxiety and the inner turmoil of what he's facing in this season, which is different than any other season. The other seasons have been all about getting this restaurant started, and this is now how do you become a Michelin star? And so that part gets addressed. That's why that's there. But the rest of it, I'm excited for you to see some of these future episodes. And I'm surprised that you watch Napkins and
Sure.
a couple of those scenes that we saw that were flashbacks, we now see they were like a frame. And then by episode Napkins, especially one of those, it opens up that frame and shows you a full story that you didn't quite understand when you saw the flashback.
Yeah, and I know what you're referring to,
There's story components that it is alluding to in episode 1 that you don't know about until you get further on in the season. And the idea that we're not like progressing as a story, I don't think that's a fair assessment. The story is absolutely progressing.
We are slogging a lot, and that's fine. The idea of getting a Michelin star is great, of that being your focus, and the idea of having to do that, let's say, within a very interesting, like a unique set of constraints you have to conquer, that's great. But conquering relational issues we've already conquered, that's the part that's very frustrating. So I'm like I said, I think we have 3
but it's
episodes.
not though. It's not. It's
I'm glad you're
not
enjoying
going. It's
it,
not
but
rehashing
it is.
things. Oh, but hang on.
Yeah,
It's that what
I
I'm
will
for
say-
anyone who's listening, and Patrick, and you're listening to Patrick as like the end all be all of this perspective. It's not. They're not rehashing. They are. It's the dynamics of the relationship. The reason why, like the motivation behind why they're arguing is so different this season. And it's because of everything that happened with Richie in season 2. Genuinely, like Richie now has a pride for
listen.
his job in such a way that he has never had before, and an excellence and all this that he's trying to bring.
Then-
It's a very different situation.
Then in that case, their acting isn't nuanced enough to show me that it's different, because it all feels the same. I
kinda
hope
feel like
it gets
that's on
better,
you.
but listen, if season 2 was a 9.5 for me, okay, I love season 2. This season right now is maybe a 5 for me. That's where I'm at right now.
Crazy. I usually trust your review, and then this is one of the handful of times ever where I feel like your review of this is actually off base. And it might be because you were on the tail end of being sick, and like genuinely there may be other forces at play that are keeping you from viewing this with a fresh perspective. That's genuinely how I feel based on how you're talking. Like I said, I usually
Okay.
trust, and I
I
see where you're
heard
coming from. But this is one where it's
50% of
like,
what you said because of your internet. I heard 50% of what you said. But the point is, I'm at a 5 right now. I have 3 more episodes for it to change my mind. But unfortunately, it's been a slow start. Now, Hulu's, their numbers are blowing it out of the water. So inevitably, we will get more Bear in some form. I mean, if it makes money for them, then they're going to shove it down our throats.
They've
even
already
more.
confirmed season 4. There's already a
Right.
fourth
So
season confirmed.
so we will get more. So whether you like it and want to get more, or you were let down and want redemption, that opportunity will come. But that's the Bear season 3. Next week, we will actually talk through how this all wraps up and how the season actually ends. And we'll see if any of these numbers have shifted at all. So if I'm at a 5 right now, Andrew, where are you right now? That way we have something to work off of next week.
I don't remember what I said for last season. I feel like this season is at least an 8. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's very good.
So 5,
But I'm
and
also
an 8.5.
things into it. I'm also reading things into it the same way that you are, but I'm reading into it with a level of optimism because I'm seeing some things paid off. I'm genuinely shocked. When you said that you're kind of reviewing the first 5 episodes, I'm like, okay, there's a handful of episodes of things that happen on this, literally on like just over the hump of the second half. But you're saying you've watched through 7 episodes and you're still feeling this way. It's mind-boggling
Yes.
to me.
And if I compare myself to my experience of watching season 1 or season 2, I mean, it was like, now I'm thinking of Cocaine Bear. I just wanted more. Like not the movie Cocaine Bear, but imagining myself as a bear doing cocaine. The first 2 seasons, like once I hit play, even on episode 1, like I just did not want to stop watching the show. I was just so sucked into every moment. And when I saw the credits come on, I just needed to start the next episode. On this season, I could stop watching it now, never finish it, and I would be okay. I have no urge inside of me to finish it, and that is a great indicator for how this season is landing with me.
That is absolutely crazy. Yeah. Hear both, for those of you who are listening, hear both sides of this spectrum and judge for yourself, because we are on absolute opposite sides of the spectrum at this point.
Not technically opposite. If I'm on 5 and he's at 8.5, that means we're still on the right quadrant. He's just a little farther in the right quadrant, but
No.
yeah,
You're the way that you're talking about, other than your rating, the way that you're talking about it, there's no way I could 6. That doesn't make any sense.
Kreider's saying he never watched season 2. If you only watch 1 season of it, I would watch season 2.
I agree
because
with
I
that.
do think like
Season
story
2,
aside,
episodes 6 and 7, Fishes and Forks, are 2 of the best pieces of television that have ever been created.
ever. Like
Yeah.
genuinely, like it's possible. I think Forks is the one specifically. Like that would be in maybe my top 10 list or top 15 list of like episodes ever. I just loved it. So, everything just aligned for that to be perfect.
The feelings that you get without the anxiety, the feelings that you get in terms of like emotional draw and things, I believe you're going to get in episode 8 of this season that you got in Fishes. Sorry. I think you're going to get that in episode 8. I think after watching that one, it's a different vibe, but it's like a very much an emotional pull along those same lines. Anyway, yeah, I think you should watch this full thing. If you're listening to me, you watch this full season and you just let it come to you as it comes to you, and don't come to it with a feeling of negativity like Patrick is asking you to do.
Sure. And then I think if you'd rather just not, okay.
I think that's a poor choice. You're saying that you have the same level of like mehness to this that you do to when we went and saw whatever that crappy movie was that I can never remember
It's
the
just
name of.
tough. Like after season 1, it was very like, man, had such a nice bow on it. Please don't mess it up for season 2. It was such a nice, compact little sliver, and it was scoped really well. It didn't try to do too much. Like it was great. And then season 2, which I was nervous about, managed to push it all forward, really get a ton of progress. I mean, arguably maybe too much progress in the amount of time, but maybe it's rubber banding. But like, see a lot of progress, and then we got the leaning into things like again, like fishes, which were just these little like cinematic masterpieces, you know, of you know, putting a microscope on family and what family really means to different people, and it was awesome. And then season 3 is just, okay, people are yelling, and they did this weird thing in this episode, but like it wasn't really awesome. It was just weird.
No,
like
you are
like
just
it feels lifeless.
You are yucking
it feels
yums
lifeless.
at this
I'm genuinely not trying to. I'm just saying, like, it for some reason it feels lifeless to me right now. It feels like punching the clock,
That's nuts.
doing the thing we've done because we've done it, and that's where I'm at. I don't want to feel
then
that way.
pay more attention. I
I wanna
don't know
like
what to
it.
tell you. Like you just feels like you are
No,
watching
it's
at
just
such
a reality.
It feels like you're watching
have to
at a
understand,
surface
too-
level, and I expect more from you on these kinds of things. That's my
Oh,
feeling.
hold on! Don't start slinging mud. There's a reality to anything.
You are
we
slinging
watch.
mud. That's
No.
exactly what I was saying before.
No, I'm not. But this is how I perceive it. And there is a reality that our context really determines some percentage of what we of why or how much we like something. There are things that go on in your life that will absolutely influence whether or not you like media at that point in time. And it's very possible that season 2 resonated with me because of something going on in my life that doesn't exist in my life now, and now it doesn't resonate. But that doesn't change the fact that it absolutely does not resonate. So no one can sit here and tell me that it should resonate. It didn't. It doesn't.
I'm not
it
telling
might
you it
by the end
should.
of it.
I'm
But
not telling
that's
you
where
it
it's
should
at.
resonate. I'm telling you that it's not like objectively not telling the same story over again, which is what your review is. It's the same story rehashed. And what I'm saying is it's not the same story rehashed.
Then
It's a
if I
different
say it
story
another way,
with different
it doesn't.
motivations, with different feelings and different. There's just way more nuance than it seems like you're giving credit to. That's my point.
And if it's not literally the same story, then what I'm saying is that it just feels like more of the same. That's how it's reading to me. But a couple more episodes to change my mind. It could change my mind. It absolutely could happen. Again, 5 today. Next week, we'll see where it's at.
Okay. I think that's going to be it. Should we roll our dice, or should we just wait for Lauren and just roll them off air?
Well, yeah, we'll do that because I realize now that if we roll them, we still don't get answers.
Right.
So
There's no
from that
point in us-
standpoint, it doesn't help us. So we'll forgo it. It'll happen. We promise we'll abide by the rules, obey the rules, whatever.
we will obey by the rules. We'll do both. We'll obey and abide by them. Okay, that's going to be it for this episode. There's only a couple of things that we talked about, but you can find it over at mof1.network, where you can find show notes and links to everything we talked about, as well as a whole plethora of other things like joining our Slack channel. Just click on that little Slack icon on our website and join the conversation in there. You too can get involved in the debate. Hop in there, let us know what you think. If you've been watching The Bear, let us know how you feel about it and what you think. If you've been playing Sea of Thieves, hop in and tell me how to play, because it's I'm still learning. But it's there's conversations happening in there all the time about all sorts of different things. So just hop in. There's a channel for you, I promise. Oh gosh, I just read just read a Jedi's post in there, and we forgot about that. But that's probably okay that we didn't.
No,
even
that's
mention
okay.
that.
That's okay.
Good.
Yeah.
We had enough healthy debate on here. We didn't need to talk about that. Where are we at? I don't know. Follow us on social media, like, subscribe, review the show, on Twitch. You can go to twitch.tv/move1podcast or YouTube, youtube.com/M of One podcast and watch us every week when we stream this. It's honestly more fun when you do that because we get people in the chat. Real-time conversations. You can ask us questions. You can answer our questions. It's a good time. But do that in there. Subscribe to never miss out all that stuff. I don't know. You know where to find us. If you don't, then it's everything's there. Out of this, though, I am Drew.
I'm Patrick.
No way there was that amount of delay. That was like 4 seconds on my side. That was bonkers.
Not only was there that much delay, I started saying my name before you finished saying your sentence because I knew there was going to be a lot of delay.
That's nuts. Peace out.
Bye. there, Kreider's there. So it's not the whole, in fairness, Andrew, it's not the whole time, but there were like 3 or 4 times tonight that you just went like robot voice. Like, and
That's crazy.
the outro was one of the times when it happened. But
It's
it is
crazy
what it
town.
is. It happens.
Okay, everybody. We made it. We made it without Warren. Battered and bruised, but we're still here fighting. That's what... There's no way this isn't Taylor Swift, right? This is just her doing a song under a different artist name or something.
Listen, this sounds way too lively and energetic to be Taylor Swift off her latest album. Her latest album I was going to put me to sleep. Mackenzie and I listened to it on the way back from the coast.
The Dead
when we
Poets
were
Society
coming
or
back.
whatever it's called.
Oh my gosh, just boring. Just boring.
Maybe you're just shifting into curmudgeon old man at this point.
No, it's not that. Mackenzie, I'm sure agrees with me. I'm just like, there was just no dynamics to it. It was just like, this is the line the whole time. The exception was the song Florida, and then Florence from Florence and the Machine was like, Florida, back to just being boring. Like, oh gosh, couldn't do it.
Okay, everybody, we're gonna get out of here.
And the thing is, it's getting all these plays in like stores, and I understand that why. That's not a sentence. I understand why that, like, oh, it's Taylor Swift album, let's put it on in the background for people to listen to. But it's not even like exciting music for that environment. Like, it's not like, I'm super pumped up, I'm gonna buy these jeans because I need that. That's what I need, and Taylor Swift doesn't give it to me.
I arguably not listened to a ton of Swift. I listened to for a little bit when we were driving to pick up Cooper from the camp, and I'm like, is this the same song that was just playing? Because it's all sounds the timbre, and it's similar to what's playing right now. And she's like, "What's really like?" Okay, I don't see the appeal, but it's fine. It's fine.
Listen, there is Taylor Swift I absolutely like. I mean, 100%. There's Taylor Swift I definitely like. It is not on the latest album.
I did learn that she says she's now incorporated the F word into cover songs. I did learn that. I was like, cussed. All these like
You gotta let
all
people
these
grow
like
up.
church
You gotta
moms.
let people grow up.
I hear you, but like all these church moms who love like take their little Swiftie girls to her concert. I'm thinking like, gosh, there's no way my parents would have let me listen to songs like this when I was as little as some of her fans are. So
Did you ever do like? Did you ever burn? Not in a good way. Like, not like make copies of CDs.
burn effigies.
Did you ever like burn? No. Did you ever like burn CDs? Like burn like it's devil music. Like burn CDs.
No, my parents didn't. My parents weren't around enough for that to happen. They worked for a living.
I don't know.
I would never have it because I didn't have. I still don't have that level of care about probably literally anything. But that I was never called to do that. I know my church when I was growing up, my Baptist church did a call to boycott Disney because they had just started doing gay days, and I'm doing air quotes. Gay days is what the church called it. That's not ever what Disney called it. But gay days. and when that
I was gonna try to
happened-
combine that, and I just realized it's gays, so you can't really like put it together.
And when that happened, I realized like, oh, I'm not ever gonna listen to anything like some large statement type thing that the church says to do. I'm gonna make my own decisions, and there was never a time where I felt like, oh, if I don't like this or if this isn't good, what is I'm gonna go buy it and then like destroy it. All I'm doing is wasting my money and giving them more money.
But do you remember going to the grocery store and there being boxes at the end of the checkouts full of AOL CDs?
100%. I would get those. I wouldn't even use them for AOL really. Because AOL Instant Messenger was free, and I would get them
come
to
in like metal tins. They were like
I
nice.
would get them to throw them. I would love to. I loved throwing CDs, and I would get those.
Yeah.
I'd get a handful of them, and we would whip them at each other. That's what.
And
we
it
would
would
do.
there would be like a new version. I swear, like every week, it felt like there was a new release or whatever.
Yeah.
But every time I saw them, I grabbed it from the cash register because they were free, right? You just took them.
Yeah, there were bins of them, and it was after it was like as you were walking out. It wasn't
Exactly,
at the
like
actual
you're
register.
done checking out, and then you can just take one. Yeah.
The $5 bin that Walmart has for the $5, they still do, where you have to rifle through find one good movie in there. It's like that, but just of I don't remember them being tins, maybe a couple of them, but primarily I remember them being the cardboard folded over, and you'd have to like do the tear, like the rip tear on those, and then take the CDs out.
Ooh. Maybe when they like first happened, they were tins, and then they were like, okay, we're spending way too much money on tins, so we're going to paper now.
What was even the purpose of them? What did they do?
They were up. I mean, like I'm
pretty sure they were
assuming-
like they gave you additional minutes of internet, something like that.
But I think it was also an updated program as well, right? So like it would be like the latest version. Oh, and apparently they did also have free hours. But I know they had
that's
versions.
what I remember.
But it had versions as well. I'm not saying you couldn't update it another way, but I'm just saying like, you know, if you're on 16.5 and there's 17.2 at the grocery store, you can just grab the latest version.
I only ever remember them being as being free trials, and you'd get out. Each one would be worth like 2 hours of internet usage.
Yeah.
Like
so, and that's the thing. Like it would install the latest version.
Yeah.
And then I guess hours. Although I don't feel like we needed. I don't know. I don't know the hour situation.
Did you use AOL other than Instant Messenger?
Why would you?
Right.
Was there-
Exactly. By that point, there was already Internet Explorer. Right? And Internet Explorer was...
Well, like, we use Netscape, right?
I didn't use Netscape, but Netscape did. I always used Internet.
We use Netscape. So it was AOL just to pull up Messenger. And was Messenger all the chat rooms as well? Like, or is that a separate thing?
No, that's what AOL Instant Messenger was. It was the
so
chat
it was
room.
just to pull that up, and then Netscape. Yeah. Listen, I had TIE Fighter. It was on 7 floppy disks, and to this day, it's one of the best games. Like, I just remember that as like being such an amazing, addictive game. That's all.
I think it's
There's
time
got to
to
be a
go.
browser version. You know what? I'm gonna leave here and go look for a browser version of TIE Fighter. It's gotta exist. Jedi, I
just
still
came
had
in.
my. I think so. I had my AOL address. And at some point it did get compromised, and I no longer had the phone number to like reset the password. And then after X amount of time of inactivity or not being able to reset the password, they just closed it. So I had mine up until maybe a year and a half ago. I had my AOL.
Was it actually like Star
It wasn't
Wars, like
used-
TIE Fighter?
Yeah.
Was it actually Star Wars, like official?
I mean, it had. You were playing Star Wars ships, like they were modeled in the game, so I assume it was official. Yeah.
I don't remember that. I feel like I'm not.
It was all in space.
Was it all computer? There was never a console of it.
I only ever played it on computer. I don't know.
Okay, maybe that's
so we
why
got
I don't
computers early. like my dad, because he had his business, like we were the first of our friend groups that had computers. And
That makes
but
sense.
I just know it was 7 floppy disks, and it was like you would load in and it's like you're just in space, but by space it's obviously like a black screen with some white dots for stars. And then you would have this like series of like missions you could do where you would have to like fly through like and hit shapes or go through circles, or I think there was dogfighting in it, but I was always doing like the missions where you just had to maneuver. But it was all PC. I only ever played
The
PC.
first time I remember doing that was on N64, and it was at Shadows of the Empire, I think, was flying the ships, was Shadows of the Empire. I'm pretty sure that's what.
Let me see if that's it. I closed my window, so I have to open this up so I can open that chat link. 1 second.
I remember in Shadows of the Empire you'd fly around in a snow speeder, and one of the take down the AT-ATs and the AT-STs in the way that Luke did by like spearing it and then going around its legs. I remember that. I remember Rogue Squadron too.
Here it is right here. For anybody that wants to buy it. You can go and buy it now off eBay. This is the game. I said 7, apparently it was 5. That's my bad.
It was 5 discs.
Yeah.
This has clearly been remastered. Oh, it's special edition. There we go. Special edition.
Yeah. Here's another one. So maybe that's like the remastered or special edition of this. I don't know. Like the logo is the same. Man, I love that game. I played that game so much.
Oh, it's all in the floppy. Yeah, we never did any of that stuff. I never
Oh
played.
no, Rip-Off Strokes is not.
I did
as enjoyable
Minesweeper.
as Real Strokes. Oh yeah, Minesweeper's great. Until you learn that there's like the cheat for Minesweeper, and then it's a waste of time.
Where you would click with like shift or something like that, and it would open up that time.
There's a key combination you can put in, and when you put it in, when you're hovering your cursor over mines, if you hover it over a mine, like a bad square, a green pixel in the top, there's a red pixel in the top left corner, it turns green. So like if you put in the key combination, a red pixel shows up, and then when you're hovering squares, it'll turn green when it's a mine.
That's dumb. That's just like, then what's even the point?
That's what I'm saying. Like I loved playing that game so much. I played so much Minesweeper, and then I learned about that, and it just killed all my momentum for playing the game. So I wanted to be ranked at Minesweeper, and at the time you had to have a beginner time under X number of seconds, and intermediate under X number
time and
expert.
time.
I had the beginner and the intermediate time. I was like 20 seconds off of the expert time that I needed, or 15 seconds off of the expert time. And I was just wanting to get that time. And, but the moment I realized that like, oh, anybody can just cheat this, didn't care anymore.
I do think that Minesweeper is, for those of us who played it, I do think it is a bit of a precursor for people who solve logic puzzles in like in escape room scenarios. You know what I mean? I do think being well versed in those kinds of games, or like Sudoku type games, is a really, it's good for your mind to be able to like logic out, well, if this is this, then this clearly has to be this.
Yeah.
Right? That's how you had to do Minesweeper. I never understood people who just played Minesweeper just who didn't use the, like, whatever the key
Like just
combination was.
guessing?
Yes, like I knew people who just would do a single click. They would just do a single click. They wouldn't do the thing like where it would like open up a little pathway or whatever. People who would just do a single click, and I'm like, what? Why would you do that? Like, there's such a better way to it.
You're gonna make enemies right now.
Yeah, but Mackenzie, this game wasn't for you. You were playing this game ironically. Like, this game wasn't your only thing to play like it was for most of us.
Yeah, if I was Mackenzie, I would have just been playing Sims all the time.
Exactly. Yeah, Sims would have been the equivalent to, like, in terms of accessibility, that Minesweeper was for us.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
did
like
love
you go and watch
that
you go
Yeti
and
was
watch
a
these
jerk.
videos of these kids now of like teenagers now, and they give them $100 if they can figure out how to make a phone call with a rotary telephone. It's like that.
Yeah, but that's
like,
just a
yeah,
jerk thing to do.
to give them to like film them doing that.
Well, I mean, just, you know, it's, in fairness, if you don't have to use it, congratulations, you don't have to use it. So that's awesome. But my grandmother had a rotary phone. So I learned real quick how to use it because I could not get in touch with my parents quick enough.
That's funny. The best one that I've seen is people who
pick
they
me
were
up.
just using a touch tone phone. They weren't even using a rotary, and
Yeah.
they would punch all the numbers in and then pick it up. Which makes sense because now, like, you punch all the numbers in and hit call. So they were like, okay, so maybe we have to put a 1 in front of it, and then they would do doot, 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 and then pick it up, or they would turn it on, punch the numbers in, and then turn it back off, not realizing they were like turning the phone back off. It was so fun to watch.
So Kreider, I don't remember exactly now, but basically, so if clicking revealed a square, then you could like right click, so like hold right and click again or something like that.
Yes.
And
yeah.
it would you have to click a square you've already opened, but it would then all the free squares that are at least like 2 removed from a bomb or something like that, it would reveal for you.
It would show you
So
like
it
a
was-
field, like a safe field.
So then you could like open 2 and then do the click, and then it would like within like, as long as it's more than 2 away or something like that, it would just auto reveal them for you. It's almost like using like the fill tool in like Photoshop or something, or the reverse of that. But the point is, the people that were really, really good at Minesweeper, they could just like feather their mouse buttons, and literally you would just see them move their cursor like this and just be uncovering swaths of it. Like, I always thought it was super impressive.
That's
but,
how I would
yeah.
play. That's how I play. I want to say I think I did hit whatever the threshold was on all of them, or got below the threshold was on all of them.
Yeah.
I was pretty good at Minesweeper, which is
Yeah,
why
because
it
it's
would
no
always.
different than if you clicked a space on the board where there weren't any mines close, it would just open up kind of like the give me spaces. You could basically trigger that action to happen after you found the bomb in an area. You could trigger that to, like, it would try to do that again, basically. So, anyway,
Man.
I don't know, whatever. It's just been a while since
I'm
I played.
sure we can download Minesweeper emulators, right? I'm sure that exists.
I don't think you need to download anything. This all exists in a browser. Like, I'm sitting here
just a
talking about this
browser,
TIE Fighter game. I guarantee you I can go play it in a browser somewhere. So,
Okay.
but.
Well, that's what we'll be doing.
All right, we getting out of here? We
All
done?
right, everybody, let's get out of here. Start waving.
Yep. Bye. I don't know how to use this interface. Oh, I hit this. Okay. Bye. I figured it out. See ya. You're just
5
pixels.
of this.
I mean, we're all just pixels. But, like, you're just pixels.